You better buckle up, because we are discussing daring maneuvers, shocking turns, and a headquarters risking everything on a championship chase. You need to erase whatever you assumed about that 30th selection in the approaching recruitment event. The reality will actually shock you, since this is far from a silent break between seasons. You are witnessing a complete reversal, a challenge to fate, and choices that will either bring the trophy home or curse the franchise for decades. Before you dive into the specifics, if you bleed orange and blue and crave another title victory, you must smash that thumbs up immediately. Also, if you have stuck by this squad through every peak and valley, you need to prove it down below. Cheer for the team, because in 2026, you will return fiercer. So let us dive straight in. After the 2025 campaign wrapped, you watch the executives start navigating what guarantees to be their most complicated and forceful break in years. Even with the agony of barely failing the postseason cut with a 9-8 standing, the general, manager, and the head coach instantly started building the groundwork for what appears to be a massive overhaul of your lineup. You start by watching the budget limit closely while taking a ruthless stance on assessing those older player deals. A massive initial step you saw was the choice to cut safety Kareem Jackson, sparing the organization $2.7 million against your spending limit. Although he anchored your defense recently, his influence faded, and his exit proves you are pivoting toward younger, faster talent in the secondary. At the same time, linebacker Frank Clark, who inked a single-year pact valued at $5.45 million, witnessed his tenure finish early to clear vital budget room. Yet that is merely the start. You are dragging difficult choices into 2026 with multiple seasoned pros facing possible elimination. Wideout Tim Patrick, absent for 2 consecutive years, hurt, brings a cost burden of $15.57 million. Since his contract lacks security, you could sever the connection and immediately rescue that entire sum. That option entices you, considering the budget. While left tackle Garrett Bowles is another figure demanding your focus. Poised to take $20 million next year, he has battled injury and inconsistency, making his price tag difficult for you to defend. You see a similar case with safety Justin Simmons, a defensive captain and star, whose $18.25 million charge marks him as a likely cut, particularly with fresh, affordable talent rising in your ranks. Defensive tackle DJ Jones's $12.997 million cost. Center Lloyd Cushenberry, and others are under review as you try to juggle skill, fitness, and monetary freedom. Your most massive migration is undeniably the issue of unmovable financial waste. You are still absorbing heavy blows from old deals, including $19 million in sunk costs from cuts and swaps in 2025 alone. That number might rise in 2026 depending on how you handle squad shifts. Yet it is not solely about slashing budgets. You possess core elements that the organization is absolutely desperate to construct a future around. There is intense pressure inside to renew vital stars like Pat Surtain II, as you view him as the ultimate defensive pillar. Even though he is signed for 2026, you expect the club to present a massive multi-year offer this break. Securing him guarantees you elite skill, while possibly offering immediate budget breathing room depending on the deal's design. Simultaneously, you feel the coach's heavy hand guiding every aspect of the squad's development. He is incredibly specific about the culture and strategic matches he demands for your offense and defense. You notice his obsession with strengthening the blocking front and boosting defensive reliability, plus recruiting stars who perform under pressure. So while you expect activity in the market, it will be controlled. Do not anticipate wild, careless cash drops. Every single cent counts, and you know the coach realizes it. But you must also monitor the passer position. With the current starter's fate unclear and no permanent solution on the bench, you might see them draft a rookie or sign a cheap pro. You can assume the era of expensive quarterback risks has ended, replaced by a calculated strategy centered on growth. Every indicator suggests a break where you will see each unit scrutinized with extreme precision. Be it the blockers, the defensive backs, or the catchers, you know nothing is guaranteed. Even your veteran heroes are not safe from the axe. You can tell the leadership views this period as the critical moment that defines the organization's future path. However, the massive query lingering is whether you are bracing for a total restart from the ground up, or are you merely shuffling the deck, hoping to stumble upon a winning hand without tearing the whole house down. You need to look closer at the reality of what facing that critical 30th pick actually means for this franchise. Let's be honest, history has been absolutely brutal to you when selecting this late in the first round. If you analyze 15 years of draft data, the conclusion is terrifying. Picks 28 through 32 are a total gamble. Statistically, only 41% of players taken in that range over the last decade and a half have met expectations. That means nearly 60% of them either underperformed severely or turned into complete busts. Let that sink in. You are statistically more likely to draft a liability than a player who truly changes your fortunes. This is exactly why you cannot play it safe this year. Just look at your own scars, for history tells the same tale. When you held similar late-round selections during the Peyton Manning era, the results were rarely pretty. In 2013, you took Sylvester Williams at 28. He looked the part, yet he managed only 6 sacks in his career. That is simply not the production you need when you are chasing championships. Nor was Bradley Roby at pick 31 in 2014. He helped during the Super Bowl 50 run, sure, but he only grabbed 11 interceptions and never earned a second contract from you. That tells you everything. And then you have the cautionary tale of Shane Ray. You traded up in 2015, convinced you were securing a franchise cornerstone for your pass rush. Instead, you ended up with a flash of potential that burned out and vanished after just 4 NFL seasons. That isn't just a miss. It is a devastating error when you are one piece away from lifting the trophy, unlike the trade back in 2012. You landed Derek Wolfe, a defensive pillar for Super Bowl 50, alongside Brock Osweiler and Ronnie Hillman, who were vital to that run. That draft was an absolute masterpiece, not because of where you picked, but because of how you manipulated the board. So what is your play now? Based on all the evidence, you absolutely have to get aggressive. Whether you trade up for your target or flip pick 30 for a veteran, freezing up is not an option while your championship window is wide open. This isn't just noise. You clinched the #1 seed last year despite battling injuries across the entire roster. Nick Bonito and Jaquan McMillian fought through pain, while Pat Surtain held down the secondary. Your offensive line was stitched together with backups, yet you still powered through a deep playoff run. You are built to win right now, and a developing rookie at the bottom of the first round won't move the needle enough. So, what is the alternative? You go out and trade for a sure thing. T. Higgins, A.J. Brown, or Alec Pierce. These are the targets that bring you certainty, unlike a gamble at pick 30. If the price is a late first-rounder, you pull the trigger without hesitation. This isn't about hoarding prospects. This is about winning today. And then you have the quarterback situation where your front office seems obsessed with Bo Nix. His dual-threat capability, his football intelligence, and his composure under fire have your scouts raving. Ryan Leaf sees a decade of dominance, and Drake May admits Bo is a legitimate problem for the conference. If you truly believe Bo Nix is the future of this franchise, do not sit back and wait for him to fall. You go get him, because the reality is your coaching staff is working against the clock. That deep playoff run cost you critical weeks of scouting time that you can never get back. Add in the coaching interviews and medical cleanups for guys like Nick Bonito and Jaquan McMillian, and you are starting this race from behind. Trading that pick for proven talent might just be the smartest survival strategy you have. There is one potential exception to holding your ground at pick 30. Inside linebacker. If Anthony Hill drops to that spot and you don't plan to bring back Josie Jewell, Alex Singleton, or Jonas Griffith, then you draft him. Hill could anchor your defense for years and save the cap space you need to arm Bo Nix with weapons. But that is a massive risk. If he isn't there, you trade up, trade back, or trade for a veteran, whatever it takes. Just do not squander this golden opportunity, because you cannot forget what this team just accomplished. You nearly went the distance despite a battered roster, endless adversity, and pure grit. With the right moves, you can reload and return with a vengeance. You don't need a project. You need champions who can win now. So, Broncos country, are you content to hold the line at pick 30 and pray for a diamond in the rough? Or are you ready to see this team make a bold move and go all in for the Super Bowl next season? Tell me your thoughts below. If your heart beats for the orange and blue, crush that like, join the ranks, and dive into the action flashing before your eyes immediately. Ride with the Broncos.